Psalm 23, The Shepherd in the Valley. Picture a shepherd, his cloak heavy with dew, eyes scanning the rugged terrain under a sky strewn with stars. He's searching for a single lost sheep, one that wandered away and now finds itself enveloped by the night's embrace. The shepherd knows every path, every shadow that could conceal danger, and his heart is filled with a relentless determination to bring that sheep back to safety. This is not just a story, it's a reflection of the heart of God, who searches for us even when we feel lost in the darkest valleys of life. If you're in such a valley right now, engulfed by grief, loss, confusion, or a profound sense of abandonment, this message is especially for you. Psalm 23 was crafted for such moments as these. It's not the anthem of someone standing triumphantly on a mountaintop, but rather a melody born out of the valley. King David, the psalmist, understood valleys intimately. He penned these words from a place of experience, not theory. He knew the reality of loss and the shadow of death. Yet, even then, he spoke of a shepherd whose presence changes everything. So, as we journey together through this psalm, let it be a reminder: you are not alone. The shepherd is seeking you, walking with you even now. Often, Psalm 23 is quoted at funerals, its words reverberating in the hushed silence of solemn gatherings before the book is gently closed. Yet this psalm invites us into a journey, not just a recital. It's meant to be walked through, much like the valleys it speaks of. You see, this isn't a promise of avoidance, it's a promise of presence. When the shepherd leads us, he does not lead us around the valley, but through it. And that begs the question: why doesn't God simply remove the valley? Why allow us to walk through such shadows at all? These questions echo in the hearts of those who have tasted the bitterness of loss and the sting of grief. The valleys of life are unavoidable, but they are also transformative. In the valley, we confront our deepest fears, our most profound questions, and our rawest emotions. It's there, in the valley, that the shepherd's presence becomes more than comforting. It becomes vital. The valley is not the absence of God, it's the proving ground of His promises. Like a skilled shepherd, God knows that some paths lead through shadowy places, yet He also knows that the journey through these shadows is where we learn His voice, His nearness, His faithfulness. In these moments, the valley becomes a place where transformation happens, where faith is deepened, and where our dependence on Him becomes our lifeline. So as we walk through this psalm, let it be with the understanding that we do not walk alone and we do not walk in vain. As we open Psalm 23, the very first verse sets the tone for everything that follows. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Here, the words are not abstract or distant. They are personal, present, and covenantal. When David declares, "The Lord is my shepherd," he is making a profound statement about relationship and belonging. The term shepherd implies care, guidance, and protection. It's not just a title, it's a role filled with tenderness and strength. And when he says, "I shall not want," it doesn't mean that life becomes easy or all desires are fulfilled. It speaks to a deeper truth that the most essential needs of our soul are met in Him. In the midst of grief, we desperately want what we cannot have: to turn back time, to hold a loved one again, to erase the pain of loss. But the promise here is not about reversing the past. It's about a shepherd who meets us in our present, providing what words cannot capture and what human efforts cannot achieve. It's the assurance that in our lack, his presence fills the void with his sufficiency. The shepherd knows our needs before we even voice them, and he tends to our deepest hurts with divine wisdom. In grief, while the heart cries for what it cannot have, the shepherd offers himself, becoming the balm for our wounded souls. This opening verse invites us to anchor our trust, not in the absence of want, but in the presence of the Good Shepherd. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Here, the imagery is vivid and comforting. The shepherd doesn't just suggest rest. Sometimes he makes it happen. There are moments in life, particularly in times of loss, where rest is not a choice, but a necessity. Grief can be overwhelming, draining every ounce of strength, and it is in these times that the shepherd intervenes. He makes us lie down in green pastures, not barren land. This is a picture of provision and abundance, even when we feel emptied. It's a reminder that God knows exactly what we need, even when we don't. And those still waters, they symbolize peace in a world that feels anything but peaceful. The shepherd doesn't just wave us toward these waters from a distance. He leads us. In our confusion, he guides each step, even when every step feels heavy. When we can't find our way to peace, he takes us there himself. This isn't just physical rest, it's a soul rest. It's the shepherd's way of saying, in your weariness, I am your rest. In your turmoil, I am your peace. The green pastures and still waters are not always geographical locations, but states of the heart, ushered in by the shepherd's presence. In times of grief, this verse reassures us that even when rest seems impossible, the shepherd knows how to bring us into places of restoration. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Restoration is a profound promise, especially to a soul battered by grief. But it's important to understand that restoration is neither instantaneous nor linear. It's a journey marked by ups and downs, moments of clarity followed by moments of confusion. Yet, it is a real and ongoing process, lovingly orchestrated by the shepherd. The shepherd knows the depths from which we need to be lifted, and he is committed to doing so. Restoration is not about erasing the past, but about healing, about making us whole in a way that bears witness to his grace. And this path he leads us on, the paths of righteousness, they are not simply about moral correctness, but about life-giving ways, about walking in his truth and light. And why does he do this? For his name's sake. God's reputation is intrinsically tied to his care for us. He is faithful to his name, which means he will not leave us broken or forsaken. To do so would contradict who he is. His commitment to restoration is as much about his unchanging character as it is about our need. He leads us not just to avoid getting lost, but to ensure that his glory is revealed in our lives, even through brokenness. This promise stands firm. The shepherd is restoring your soul, leading you gently, purposefully, because his name is at stake, and he is ever faithful. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. This is the heartbeat of the psalm, and perhaps the very verse that resonates most deeply in times of grief. Notice the choice of words. Though I walk, it is not if I walk, but though. This acknowledges the certainty of walking through valleys in life. The valley of the shadow of death is not merely a poetic metaphor. It is a stark reality of loss and pain. This shadow feels overwhelming, stretching over every part of life. Yet, even here, the psalmist declares, "I will fear no evil." This bold statement is not because the valley isn't real or the threats aren't palpable. It's because the shepherd's presence changes the narrative. "For thou art with me." Those simple words transform everything. The shepherd doesn't promise a life without valleys. He promises his presence in every one of them. His rod and staff, instruments of guidance and protection, bring comfort. The rod wards off threats, while the staff guides and corrects. They are symbols of his authority and his care. In the valley, these tools become tangible reminders of his nearness. The valley doesn't have the final word. The presence of the shepherd does. So, even when shadows loom heavy, remember, you do not walk alone. The shepherd is there, his presence steadying, his tools comforting, each step infused with his love and protection. "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over." This verse paints a surprising picture of abundance and honor in the midst of adversity. Imagine a table set with care, right in the middle of enemy territory. In the midst of grief, this may seem counterintuitive. Yet, this is exactly where God prepares a feast for the soul. It's a declaration that even surrounded by sorrow and pain, God's provision is unshaken. He doesn't wait for the absence of trouble to bless us. He does so in its very presence. Anointing the head with oil is a gesture of honor and healing, a reminder that we are seen and cherished by God. And the overflowing cup, it signals abundance that defies the circumstances, a cup that runs over with His goodness and grace right in the heart of the valley. This abundance is not postponed until after the valley, it is experienced within it. It's a testament to the shepherd's ability to provide joy and strength even when life feels barren. Psalm 23 reminds us that God's presence brings a richness that transcends the surrounding shadows. In times of grief, this verse offers hope. God's table of blessings is set for you even now. Your cup, though it may feel empty, is destined to overflow with the loving kindness of your shepherd. "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." As we reach the closing verse of this psalm, a profound realization dawns. David doesn't speculate or hope. He declares with certainty, "Surely." It's a confident affirmation that goodness and mercy aren't just possible outcomes, but guaranteed companions. They follow him and us, not just on good days, but all the days of life, even the hardest ones, even today. Goodness, representing God's provision and favor, and mercy, reflecting His steadfast love, are not just passive bystanders. They actively pursue us. They cover every step, every misstep, every tear with divine intention. Their pursuit is relentless, their presence constant, and this pursuit culminates in the promise that we will dwell in the house of the Lord forever, a promise of eternal communion and rest. In the midst of grief, this verse offers a lifeline, a perspective that transcends the moment. It reassures that the shepherd's goodness and mercy are not fleeting. They are the backdrop of our lives, even in the valley. As we conclude this psalm, let it be a reminder that God's promises envelop us, that His love is unyielding, and that His goodness and mercy are pursuing you, bringing hope to every shadowed path. As we bring this reflection on Psalm 23 to a close, let's enter into a time of guided prayer, inviting these truths to settle deeply within us. I invite you to pray these words aloud as a declaration of faith, even in your grieving. Lord, I don't understand why I'm in this valley, but I declare you are my shepherd. I shall not want. Though my heart aches, I trust that you make me lie down in green pastures and lead me beside still waters. Restore my soul, O God, and lead me in your righteous paths for your name's sake. Even as I walk through this valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. Prepare a table before me, even in this pain, and anoint my head with your healing oil until my cup overflows. Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in your house forever. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let the weight of his promises anchor you. Feel the shepherd's presence, his peace embracing you. In this stillness, know that he is with you, holding you close in his unfailing love. Grief is a journey that takes time, and Psalm 23 is a passage to return to again and again. Let it be a wellspring of comfort as you navigate your valley. If this reflection has touched you, consider sharing it with someone else who might be in need of the shepherd's presence today. And as we continue this journey, know that our next reflection will focus on Psalm 27. The Lord is my light when everything feels dark. If you're new to our community, we invite you to subscribe and walk this journey of faith with us. Remember, you are not alone. The shepherd is with you.